Good evening, everyone. This is Bremster, and I'm here to bring you another puzzle. This time, I am fortunate enough to be doing a puzzle by Joseph Nehme, or I've heard it pronounced a couple of different ways. Joseph, I hope will forgive me if I've gotten it because I've butchered it. So this is a puzzle that Joseph recently posted to Logic Masters Germany, and I actually solved the puzzle when I first saw it, and I thought it was a very good puzzle, and I thought I would try and solve it for my series. Sometimes I solve puzzles fresh, sometimes I solve puzzles I've solved before. Um, some people have asked me why I tend to solve puzzles that are on the easier side rather than some of the much more challenging puzzles. There's a couple of reasons for that. Before I go into this puzzle, I thought I would quickly discuss it. First of all, I'm quite a slow solver. I can solve the harder puzzles, but I find them very, very challenging. I tend to be able only to look at a screen for about an hour at a time before I start having issues for various reasons. So and because I'm not a fast solver, I tend to only aim at generally doing puzzles at around a 2 or a 3 difficulty, because I find that a lot of those puzzles will have the more challenging logic in them, but they'll only have 1 or 2 tricks to them, or they will have interesting logic in them, but they won't be require quite as much attention. I find those puzzles very, very entertaining. The more challenging puzzles I still enjoy, but often I find I have to do them in 3 or 4 sittings, and it means I lose any flow, and I always have to remember where I'm up to, and often have to take notes, which is a lot harder for doing on a video. Other solvers on other channels, of course, the Cracking the Cryptic guys, Ashish and Kishore from Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles, and Scott Strosal's channel. They are much better solvers than me. They are faster than me. If you don't like my pace, I highly recommend watching my channel at 1.5 speed. I often do that when I'm checking my videos. But that's why I tend to focus on puzzles at a 2 or a 3 difficulty. This puzzle is rated at a 2 difficulty on Logic Masters Germany. I found it probably closer to a 3 for me, but everyone is a bit different. And while I remember some of the details of the solve, I definitely don't remember all of them. I'm actually on some medication at the moment, which makes it a little interesting, but I thought I would bring the puzzle to you. Anyway, I thought I would answer that question that I've been asked, like, I think 4 or 5 times now. Anyway, onto this puzzle. So this is the one that got away by Joseph Nehme. I hope it won't get away from us. It has 3 rules. The first one is normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, row, and column, the numbers 1 to 9 must appear without repetition. Normal renban rules. So these purple lines are renban lines. On renban lines, the digits that appear must be a set of non-repeating consecutive digits. So, for example, if I was to put a 2 here, these may be 3, 4, 5, and 6, and that would be fine. Or I could swap the 6 for a 1, but I couldn't, for example, put an 8 on that line because 8 is too far away from 2 to make a set of consecutive digits. The other rule is ratio, which is these black dots, and the cells neighbouring these black dots must have a 1 to 2 ratio. And that's the rules for this puzzle. I know it is solvable. The question is, will I be able to do it now? So let's find out. So thank you for Joseph for allowing me to do this on the puzzle on my channel, and let's try and solve it. So the first thing I noticed when I solved this, and where I'm going to start now, and after this I honestly don't remember the exact path, was this renban line. So because on a renban line digits can't repeat because they must be consecutive, these 3, which I'm going to highlight in blue, those 3 cells will be a set of 3 different digits. Those 3 digits cannot appear here because they're in the same row, and they cannot appear here because they're on the same renban line. So they must appear here in box 8. And this starts what we call roping, and roping is when in either columns or rows you will be able to create a band of digits. So these three must appear here, and therefore in box 9 they'll need to appear here. I can't put one of them down here and I can't put one of them up here, so they'll appear here. Once you've got two sets of digits that are roped like this, what you can then do is you can, if you look at it, you can then do the same with the others. So if I highlight those green, you'll notice green can't go here because it's in the same row, and green can't go here because these are blue. So green must go here, and then green must go here. And then if I highlight these orange, then orange will have to go there and there. And that's called roping. I don't know why it's called roping. I've always thought it's called roping because it's a bit like a twisted rope and they sort of twist around each other. That could be wrong. I've never heard officially why they're called roping. The next thing I noticed was these are 5 long renban lines. And on a 5 long renban line, what you must have is, if you start at 1, it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you started at 9 and counted down, it would go 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. So on a 5 long renban line, you must always have a 5. So there will be a 5 on each of those. We don't know what's around it, but they will always have a 5. On this renban line, however, that is 6 long. So if you start at 1, you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you start at 9, you'll go 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So there will always be a 4, 5, and 6 somewhere on this renban line. So 4, 5, and 6 must appear in blue and orange and cannot appear in green. Now that has ramifications on this green dot, because on a ratio dot or a black crop key dot, I'll probably call it a crop key dot most of the time because that's what they're generally called. There are only a certain number, I think it's 6 digits you can put on it that you can do a ratio on. There is I'm on the wrong mode. You can do 1 to 2, you can do 2 to 4, you can do 4 to 8, and you can do 3 to 6. Now, these 3 green digits see all of blue and orange, and as I said, because these are separated, I can't include 4, 5, or 6 because they're not in green. So 4, 8 is not possible because I don't have 4. 3, 6 is not possible because I don't have 6. So all of a sudden, this must be 1, 2. So I've been able to narrow that crop key dot down to 1, 2. Now I have these crop key dots, which must come from orange, and this actually pushes this up, because now if I look at the bounds of 6 dots, I can take 1 and 2. So I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 down to 4. So I've got 3 to 8 or 9 down to 4. So that means I must include 7 and 8 in blue, and I must include 7 and 8. What I don't know is whether I get 3 or whether I get 9. But I think I'm about to answer that by looking at these crop key dots. So if I look at these crop key dots, remember I said the options for the crop key dots were 1, 2, 4, 8, or 3, 6. However, 1 and 2 must appear down here for being in green. So I can take 1 and 2 out of the orange and blue, because 1 and 2 must appear in green because of the roping effect. So these are, one of them is 3, 6, and the other is 4, 8. Now, because I know that 3 must be in orange in order to fulfill those crop key dots, I now know that these are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because 3 must be in this. And once I've got one of the extremes, I just have to keep going. If I was to do 4 to 9, I wouldn't have 3 in it. Once I've got 3, which is now the smallest digit I can put in it, I just have to keep going up, which means, because I know the 6 digits in here, that must be a 9, and these are all 1, 2, and 9. That means these digits are 5 and 7. And with those digits being 5 and 7, I can take 5 out of there, put 5 into there, take 5 out of there, and put 5 into there. Now I'm running out of things that I remember. So I basically remembered that from being the break-in because this really was very well telegraphed. The roping was very clear from this renban line. The forcing of the 1 and 2 into here by the middling digits not being available because of the renban line, and this Kropke dot seeing all of them, and then the forcing of all of this. Yeah, I thought that was a beautiful opening to the puzzle. And after this, I remember just plodding through, and that's what I'm about to start. If you have tried this puzzle and struggled with it, so if you've come to my video having found the links below and you couldn't find the break-in and you're at this point, this is the bit where I would recommend pausing the video and continuing after putting this in and seeing if you can continue from here, because I feel that this was pretty much the break-in. But let's try and continue. So this is the box that looks the most constrained to me, because these are all going to be renban lines. I cannot put 7 on that renban line. So if I can't put 7 on it, I may be able to go up to 6. But apart from that, I have to go down. So that means that I could go up 1, but because there are 4 digits here, I must include 4, 3, 2. So 5, 4, 3, 2. But it may also be 1 or 6. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 are the options, and it must include 2, 3, and 4. Which means this is not 2. So 5 in this box must go on that renban line. That's going to put enormous pressure on this. If this is 3, 6, then I've only got 2 digits between 3 and 6, 4 and 5, to go on that line. So if this was 3 and 6 and I put 5 on this, it would be 5, 4, and then I couldn't put the 3 or the 6 to complete this renban line. So this can't be 3, 6, this is 4, 8, and this is 3, 6. So now I know I can't put 4 on this renban line, so this goes 5, 6, 7, which means I can't put 6 in there. But I still could put 6 there. Well, what's this Kropke dot now? Can't be 3, 6. So it's 1, 2, or 4, 8. But hang on, this has to go 5. I have to include 2, but if I put 2 there, and then do 3, no, I can't do 3, 4, 6 in here. If this is 1, 2, I've got to put 3, 4 into all of those spots, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I put 1, 2 here, I've got 5 cells that need to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's not going to work. So it can't be 1, 2, it can't be 3, 6. This is 4, 8. I take 4 out of there. This is a 1, 2, 3 pair. So I can take 1, 2, 3 out of that. And this can no longer be 6 because I've got to connect 1, 2, 3 to the 5. That must be a 4. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a 9. That's kind of nice. So it takes 9 out of there. That must be a 9 because I've got 1 up there, which means I can take 9 out of there. I haven't yet narrowed this down enough to put reduction in here. I put these in for proving the point on the renban line. I really don't want to put 6 pencil marks in here. Well, that can't be 5. Yeah, now I'm going to see what I can do up here first. So this can't be 4, 8, because if I put 4, 8 in here, that would not have a value. But I could do 1, 2, make that 3. I could do 2, 4, make that 8, and that'd be a 1, 3. I could do 3, 6. Yeah, that's all fine. That can't be a 1, 2, or that would have no value. But I could go 2, 4, 4, 8, or 3, 6. Yeah, that doesn't... Oh, I can't put a 4 on that renban line. So if I can't go down, because there's a 4 on in the row already, so if I can't go down from that 5, this has to be 6, 7, 8, 9, because there's a 5 on the renban line, and I can't put a 4 on it. So I can't include 3, 2, or 1. I need 5 numbers that don't include 1, 2, 3, or 4. It has to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not a 9. So these are 1, 2, and 3. That means if that's a 1... No, that can't be a 1. Because if that was a 1, that would have to be a 2, and that would have no value. So if I put a 1 in this cell, I'm showing you this, and I put a 2 here, that's a 1, 2 in the column, and that cell I'd never be able to fill. So I can't do that, so I can take 1 out of there. If this is a 2, this is not a 1 for the same reason. This would be a 4, and if this is a 3, this is a 6, and they're the only possible values I can put in there. But that doesn't force anything. I'm really not... Like, there's some restriction at the top here. Well, actually, we know what these two are, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have 6. So this is 6 and 8. So I've got 5 in here. No, I've got 6 in here already. So these are 1, 2, and 7. And this is 1, 2, 3, and 9. Oh, that's clever. I mean, it's not that hard, but it's clever. So if we look at this line now, they must be consecutive digits. And 1, 2, and 3 are not consecutive. And this is 1, 2, 3, 9 because I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 in the column already. 1, 2, 3 is not consecutive with 6 or 8, so I can take 1, 2, 3 out. This is now a 9. The only digit there that's consecutive with a 9 is an 8. So that becomes a 6. I take 9 out of there. 3 must now be in there. I already had that 1, 2, 3, so that's kind of used. This 6 makes that a 4, which makes that a 2, which takes 2 out of both of those. So far this has not been a phenomenally hard puzzle, but it's had very interesting deductions that force you to think about renban lines, and that's what I really enjoy in a puzzle. So the question is, what do I look at next? So this can't be a 2 or a 4. If this... Oh, actually, let's put this in. This is now a 1, this is now a 2. I can take 4 out of there. That's remarkably unhelpful. But if we look at this, this can't be 1, 2, or 4. So this is 8 with a 4, which it can't be because it would break that. So this is a 3, 6 pair, the only option it can be now. So that takes 3 out of there. Now, this is something I've learned about doing renban lines in the past. Once you have a 3, 6, I've seen renban crop key before, not just in this puzzle, in others. When you have 3, 6 like this, if you think about this line, and I've seen it mostly in crop key pairs puzzles where there's a run of 3 white dots, which I won't explain, but it's the same effect as this while there's a black dot. If you've got 3, 6 in here, this can't be 1, 2, 3. 3 is not available. Can't be 2, 3, 4. Can't be 3, 4, 5. Can't be 4, 5, 6 because 6 isn't available. Can't be 5, 6, 7 or 6, 7, 8. So these must be 7, 8, 9. Once you've got 3, 6 locked out in a row or a column that also has 3 consecutive digits, those digits must be 7, 8, 9. And that's an interesting, it's just a factoid or a fact to remember when you see a pattern like this. And if you know crop key pairs, it would be the same if you had 3 white dots. And you could do the same if you had them in boxes, columns, or rows. So this becomes a 7, 8, 9. This becomes a 4. This becomes an 8. This can't be a 9. 9 has to go in one of those two. And that's just Sudoku. 9 can't go up there. 2 now has to go in one of those two, which means this can't be 1, 2. It could be 4, 5. It can't be, so this, if I look at it, it can't be 1, 2, it can't be 2, 3, could be 4, 5 in that order, can't include a 6, so I jump to 7, 8, which it can't be, and then I jump to 8, 9, which it could be. So it's either 4, 5 or 8, 9. Can't be 8 there, so that means it can't be 9 there. So they're the options I've got. 9 can't be there or there, so 9 has to be in one of those two. Wait a minute, 9 had to be in one of those two, but it can't be there, so that's the 9, which means 9 is there, which means that's the 4 and that's a 5. I should have noticed that earlier. So that 5 takes 5 out of there. I can take 5 out of there. I can take 4 out of there. I get the feeling until I resolve this, and this is feeling, not memory, I'm not going to be able to resolve these. Row 2 is quite restricted because I've only got 5 digits and 2 of them have to be consecutive. And if it was 1, 2, that would be very powerful. What have I got here? So I haven't used 1, 2, 3, 7 or 8. Oh, that's a lot of options. It can't be 7, 8. Because if this was 7, 8, what would I put in those 3 cells? Because this is 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I took 6, 7, 8 out and put them up there, these would all just be from 6, 9, and I'd have to put 2 digits into 3 cells. Or if the other way of looking at it, if I put 7, 8 up there, then that would become 7, 8, and I'd have to put 7, 8 into both 7 and 8 into that cell, which doesn't work. So I can take 7 and 8 out of those cells. This gives me a 1, 2, 3 triple, making that a 7, that an 8. This is not an 8. That takes 8 out of there. Oh, that 8 is now looking at that 7, which takes 7 out of those. They are an 8, 9 pair. There's no 7 here. Wait a minute, have I broken this? Oh, there's a 3, 6 looking at this. This is 5. I can take 5 out of here. This is a 1 or a 2. Whoa, that's a low digit to have on a renban line. So if this is a 1, this is a 2. If this is a 2, this is a 1 or a 3. So this is a 1, 2, 3. So that's very restricted. Nothing's giving me this though, which is frustrating. This can't be a 7 anymore because that's been resolved. So I've got the 1, 2 pair there. So these 4 digits are 3, 6, 7, 8. I'm kind of falling back on classic techniques of, if I don't know what else to do, just put some pencil marks in and hope. So 8 can't be there and 8 can't be there. So 8 has to be in one of those two, which takes 8 out of there. And that matches up. 8 is in blue or orange, which I kind of knew because I've forced 1, 2, 9 into green ages ago. Oh, but I forced 8 into there, and 8 is there. So that means 8 has to be in one of these 3, and it's not there or there. So that's 8. This is now a known 1, 2 pair, because I've got I had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So if that's 1, 2, that has to be... Oh, I've got the 2 already. 1 has to be in one of those 2, which I kind of knew from that 1. I'm possibly coming at this slowly. Seven is not here anymore. I'm slowly whittling this down, but I don't feel like I'm doing it very quickly. I'm not sure how long I've been doing this puzzle. About 25 minutes. It's not too bad for me. 4, okay. 5. I have 5 has to go in one of those 2, but that's a 5 looking at it. So that becomes a 5. I can take a 5 out of there. 4, 5. Yeah, I'm not... So a 4 needs to go into the top up here, but it can go anywhere. Like if I could restrict 4 to on this line, I would know that it was 4, 3 because I couldn't make it 4, 5. But until... But I don't know that. Well, what are the options for up here? There must be a 2 on this line. So I can't put 2 up here. And this 5, this renban line must contain 6, 7, It must contain 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 8 and 9 must be down here. I can't put them up here. So that means I've got 1, 3, 6, and 7 that could go into those cells. Well, the only two of those, no, hang on, I missed the 4. 1, 3, and I must have a 4 somewhere up here. Have I got that wrong? Well, it can't be a 1. So the 1 must be in here with the 2, because I can't put a 1 up here, and I can't put a 1 down here. So this becomes a 1, 2 pair. This becomes the 3. This becomes the 1. This becomes a 3. This becomes a 1. This becomes a 2. This becomes a 1. This becomes a 2. Has that forced anything? That has to be a known cell. That's a 5. I should have possibly been looking at 5s earlier. 5 is now in one of those two. That's a 6. That's a 3. I can take 3 and 6 out of there. This becomes the 5, 7 pair that matches up with that. So I can take 7 out of there. So these are 3, 6, 4, and 8 in some order. I can't put 8 there because because of that. That's a 6 because that was a 6, 7 pair and there was a 7 looking at it. I should have got that ages ago. So much stuff I should have got ages ago. This is a 3, 4, so that's not a 3, that's not a 3 or a 4. So I've now got those pairs locked down. This is a 3 or a 4. So if this is a 3, this can't be 1 or it can't be 2, so it would be a 4. And if it's a 4, it's a 3 or a 5, and it can't be a 5. This is a 3, 4 pair. Huh. So this is 5, 6, 7, and 8. That can't be a 5. In fact, 5 has to be in one of those two. I'm sure I'm doing this in an efficient way. This is 1, 2, 3 triple. I'm jumping all over the place, but yep, that's the way some of us do it. I've got to put a 4 in here still. But I've still got lots of options. So this is 3, 4 or 6, 7. If this is 6, 7, that's 3. No, wait, that can't be 3. I should have seen. And it can't be 6. That's a 7. So that takes 7 out of all of those. The only one that can be consecutive now is a 3, 4 pair. No. There's no 6 down here. This is a 7, 8, 9. Take 6 out of there, take 6 out of there. This is a 7, 8. This is a 1, 2 pair. Look, I find these blue digits quite hard to read under the purple, and I'm sorry if it's the same on the video. But that's just the way the puzzle is rendered. 1, 2, looking at a 1, 2, 9, that becomes a 9, and these are a 1, 2 pair. That's a 1, 2 pair in that column now, making that a 3. On the renban line, that makes that a 2, which makes that a 1. And I keep doing the that-a thing. That's 2, that's 1, that's 2. There is a 3, 4 pair in column 4, so there's no 3, 4 in that orange cell. That 2 is looking at that 1. That 3 is looking at that 2, which makes that a 1 and that a 2. I'm going to keep doing this, aren't I? I may as well just resign myself to it. There now must be a 1 in row 6, and I can't put it there, there, or there, so that's the 1. I now must put a 4 in here, so this is 4, 6, or 7. There's no 6 there. So I've now got a completely pencil marked grid and absolutely no recollection what to do from here. These are 3, 4. This is 3. So 3 and 4 must be in different colours. So if that's 3, that's 3, that's 6, that's 4, that's 8. Is that going to matter? That's not a 9. That's a 7, 8 pair. So that's a 4. That's not a 4 or an 8. That's 3 or 7. And it can't be 7. That's 3. So 3 is in orange. That becomes 6. That takes 6 out of orange, puts 6 into blue, and I can't put 6 in either of those cells, so that becomes a 6, which means that's a 5. So 5 goes into orange. The roping coming into effect at this late stage is really nice. I like how the thing we found at the beginning. 3 puts 4 there, so 4 is in blue. 7 is looking over here, making that an 8, making that a 7. So we now know that 3 must be in orange, so that becomes 4. 5 is in orange, and 7 is in blue. 6 is in blue, and 8 is in orange. 7 is looking up, making that an 8, taking 8 out of those. 4 is looking up, making that a 3, and that 4. 8 is looking up, making that 9 and that 8. That 9 is making that 7, that 9. That 7 is making that 6, that 7, that 6, and the final digit I'm putting in is a 7. And computer says all good. So that is how I solve the one that got away. I think I caught it this time, by Joseph Nehme. And I think that's the 4th different way I've pronounced your name, Joseph's name. I'm really sorry about that. I really like this puzzle. I mean, I tend to mostly do puzzles I like on my channel, or ones that people have specifically asked me to do. So far, I've been lucky. I mean, I like most puzzles, so that's kind of good. But this one I very much enjoyed because it introduced. I'm not very familiar with renban, so it was a good. I felt this was a great puzzle for learning more about it. I liked the roping element. And I really liked the discovery in these 2 boxes of having to figure out how the roping, and particularly after you figured out the pointing with this dot, and being able to figure out the pressure and the limits that are being put by these renban lines from all of this. Once you find this 5, 7, and being able to limit the 5s, finding this 4, removing 4 from here and getting all of this, and then just being able to whittle away the rest of the grid. That's a that's a really nice puzzle. I feel this puzzle for me is more of a 3 than a 2, but Logic Masters Germany disagrees with me. You will find the link to this puzzle for Logic Masters Germany below. Go, and I will put a link to other of Joseph's page down there as well. Yeah, go do more of Joseph's puzzles. He's featured quite regularly on Cracking the Cryptic, I believe, because he's good. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you come back to find more of my puzzles and of the other amazing setters who allow me to do their puzzles on my channel. Thank you very much.